And we
Hello,
are live.
hello. It
Welcome
has
back.
been a minute.
It's been a little bit. First and foremost, just want to hope everyone had a beautiful, meaningful, high holidays. Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, Sardi Yemei Tshuva. I know those good times. And that the fast was easy as well. Never an easy day, especially with kids. But anyways, yeah, I hope everyone had a meaningful fast. This is probably going to be our last episode.
That was just
before,
piled on real fast.
Yeah, hopefully we're gonna this is probably gonna be our. I don't think we're gonna do one over Sukkot. So this is probably gonna be our pre-Sukkot special. All Brucked Up pre-Sukkot
I know, but
special.
I feel like the last few episodes we've been starting off like, oh, it's been a while. Like, we have been a little bit.
We've been
more
inconsistent
sporadic lately. Things have been a little crazy in both our lives as of lately, and then summer, and he has kids, and I have a dog and a cat.
Yeah,
it's been a little hard, but
everything also this year, everything is a lot earlier. Like Sukkot is in right. Sukkot is already starting at the end of September, so like the kids started school not super early, but then you only have like a week and a half, and then boom, you get thrown right into holidays, and then they're off for a couple of days for Rosh Hashanah, and then there's like kind of a week, less than a week in between, and then there's Yom Kippur, and then most schools will give off a couple of days, if not all the days between Yom Kippur and then,
really? So wow.
My kids have 2 days of school. This is their last day.
Yeah, that's the thing, and I remember like growing up as kids, because Rosh Hashanah, the Jewish New Year and stuff, it always started around September time and everything, but school always started the beginning of September, so you just started school, and you are just meeting your new teachers and your classmates, and then bam, you're right into these holidays, and you're missing so much school, and then then you're just thrown back into it, and I always wondered why didn't they start it off later? It never made sense.
I mean, at the same time though, we are doing a double curriculum for.
Oh, yeah.
A long time, so 15, 16 years of life. So definitely not the most fun. It's just strange because I remember going to my friends in Minnesota when I would go to visit them, and they were in public school there, and they went to, I think it was called Torah Academy in the afternoon. But they would get out of school 2:30. They were done with the school in high school. They were done for the day at 2:30. Mind you, I didn't get home till 5:30. Got a ton of homework, which I obviously didn't do. And
the school I went to, we didn't officially finish till 8:15, in 9th or 10th grade in TA. And we had a big break in the middle of the day, but we literally didn't finish till 8:15.
And yeah, night Seder, yeah.
The day started at 7:30 to 8:15, and I lived on campus. So it was literally I know what jail is. I really do.
Right. You were institutionalized for a couple of years.
And it's not you could be oh well, the food was probably better. No, probably not. Probably not.
Where you did you go out at all during the day or when you had off on break?
I had to ask for permission. I had to ask for permission to go to 7-Eleven that was down the block, literally, and most times he would say no.
Lest you run off and commit some mischievous acts.
No, his issue was the magazines in 7-Eleven. He thought I was going for a Playboy or Maxim magazine. They have them, but now they cover them up.
Little did he know that was the least of his worries.
Literally, dude, no, I literally just wanted my Slurpee, and that's really it. Wasn't grabbing no Maxim unless I was
going
trying
for
to
the
get
men's fitness magazines.
Exactly. Maxim.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
Mind you, he knew what these magazines are, so it's bitch, well, you clearly know where they're located and what they are, and you're
yeah, one of the schools I had looked at. One of the schools I remember I had looked at for high school when I was speaking about. I'm not going to say which school where it was, but I was speaking about going out and where the guys hang out and what kind of stuff they do to, take a load off and such. And one of the guys telling me about how there's a mall pretty close by. One of the teachers told me, but none of the guys are allowed to go. But no one's allowed to go because of they might have inappropriate things on the walls or the pictures or at the stores and stuff like that. So it was just funny. It was just hey, what do guys do? And he was just oh yeah, well we have a mall, but you can't go to that. So I'm okay. So
what do you guys do?
Me. Yeah, nice having me. I'll see you later. Definitely not going to be going here. Which is funny because I ended up going to Memphis where I literally didn't go anywhere and I felt imprisoned in the dormitory. And I made some great friends, but it was I don't know why we went away for high school, both of us, but
our father at the
very
time thought that
interesting.
like that's what you're supposed to do. Like you're supposed to send your boys off to high school for yeshiva,
Right, 'cause that's what he
somewhere
did.
else.
That's what he
And
did. He went
right,
away for
and like
yeshiva.
he also didn't go to like a typical kind of like yeshiva, like people who like know that world's like what it is. And like I don't know why he had this like thought that this is what
It
you're
was
supposed to
exciting. It
do.
was exciting for me at least to go to be on my own.
Oh yeah, no, it was for me too until I got
Until
there,
you got to the
and
school, yeah, right?
I realized Guantanamo Bay was not as great as I wanted me to see.
Oh,
Oh
my
my
goodness.
god, yeah, Torture Academy we called it because it was Talmudical Academy. Shout out to Baltimore. They didn't have any money to sue me, even if this podcast went big. They got nothing, so I'm not worried about that.
Oh my
Shout out,
goodness.
yeah, you better work. So, because they don't. And yeah, good times. Not
Torture
even a little.
Academy.
Zero money.
It's just
No.
crazy because I remember so clearly being in middle school, and when you're in like 5th or 6th grade and thinking, geez, I am never getting out of school. You got 8th grade seems years away. And then high school is a whole nother animal. And then you don't even think going to Israel, those people seem like they're already 150 years old when you're a little kid.
Legit. And it's
And
crazy because
then
I
adults are different species of beings. So like you don't even think about that reality. And then you just wake up one day and you're like, oh, I'm out of school and I'm 30 years old and I'm an adult.
I was literally just talking to someone about this like last week. She stayed over. Shout out Hannah. Okay, she stayed over by mom and dad's for Rosh Hashanah, and I was talking about it. I was like, it's so funny because I feel like when I was 18 and 19 and 20, like when I was my year in Israel, like we were out partying till so late, like every single night, and then I barely slept, and then went to classes the next day and functioned, didn't have hangovers, like never did any of that, and like this would be like
That's
a
pretty
nightly
impressive.
occurrence, and it's like at that age, like you really think you're invincible. Like you think you're an adult and you think you know it all. And like, you don't think of like the repercussions of a lot of things. Like a lot of people are more willing to take drugs or like experiment because, you're young and you only live once. And it's like, you don't think of long-term things at that point. And like then when you're older, it's like, oh my God, like life is so crazy. And then you realize like so many little things and the little nuances that then give you anxiety that you didn't even think about before. And then it's like, oh shit, it's like now I'm really an adult. And it's like you think that like, like I remember it's like everyone used to always say to me, oh my God, you're so young. Oh my God, you're such a baby. And then it was like in one day, it was like that was gone. Next to like I'm just like one of them. And it's like you're just supposed to have your shit together, know everything. And it's like it's pretty crazy. No one really prepares you for it, especially in the schools we went to. But like
right, it's the lack of
world.
responsibility. But also if you think about it, that being a kid really that is one of the most stressful times of your life because you're learning everything anew, you're experiencing everything anew. And so it's probably makes sense that at that age you therefore don't really have to worry about, day-to-day responsibility like adults do because you have to figure out how to take in everything around you and how to learn how to navigate the world.
Literally, and paying for everything and like, having responsibilities, you having kids. It's like, it's so crazy. And like when you're that age and getting married, it's like you really think like you're an adult, you have it all, like, and then you're like, oh my God, life is still so like long. You have your own kids, they're growing up. Like, we like our cousin Esty, shout out Esty. Oh, you sound like you have mom's cough. She stayed by right? Oh, God forbid. And then so she stayed by mom and dad's for this past Shabbat with Antonina and stuff like that. And she was telling me how her oldest son now is 17. And I'm like, he's 17? And I'm like, wait, hold on a second. We are 6 years apart. Her and I are 6 years apart. She has a 17-year-old. So I'm like, oh my God. Like I have friends who have 11-year-old kids. And I'm like I can't even fathom. Like I literally, like I was a totally different person then. And I was so young. And it's like, to even imagine me having a kid, like it's pretty wild. I love my
It's
dog
weird
and my
thinking
cat.
about what they're going to be like when they're older and like I could communicate with them like as adults or young adults.
They're already getting bigger. Like even like
right,
our
it's
nieces
already
and nephews,
weird.
like a lot of them are getting so big. Like when I left to Israel 7 years ago, it still feels like yesterday. And like so, our oldest like nieces, they're going to be 15. Like I remember being 15. It's freaky. Like it's like time really flies. It's
they say
wild.
time flies when you're having fun. And I feel like a lot of times
I don't know where all the fun was though. It just flew.
right.
There was some fun,
flew.
sporadic, here
No, but
and there.
it really like it's only when you finally get there that it feels like okay, it didn't take that long. But when you're in the trenches, so to speak, going through, day to day, and you're thinking
still in
about
those
how many
trenches,
months you have
just
left
getting
of
by.
school, or just thinking about how many months you have left of this, or how many months till work, or till summer vacation, or whatever it is that you're doing, and you're just counting down the days.
Literally, it's crazy now. Everything just flying by.
But I am really excited for Sukkot, my favorite Chag. I really wish I could be in Israel.
My favorite. It was always my favorite.
A lot of people's favorite Chagim. Let's take it easy. It could be my favorite.
Don't get it twisted.
You're the only one. You're the only one.
I've claimed it as mine. So if anyone else claims it as theirs, you're wrong. No, I love it.
I wish we could be in Israel, though. Specifically in Israel, though, Sukkot is the best holiday.
The best. No, literally there's nothing like it, and the weather's perfect. I love the whole eating outside. I'm going to our parents and they have a really nice sukkah, and we have really good food, and we decorate it, and our sister's in town with her husband and 2 youngest children, so I get to spend it with them. And it's you eat outside, and people are singing, and you hear the other neighbors singing, and it's just there's just a really nice vibe about it. And I don't know. I just love it. There's just something about it.
I mean, it's all about just hanging out with family.
Right now?
I was just actually.
Did you send an entire email or memo? Someone?
Our father just tried calling me back because I was calling him back from a call I had missed. And,
so what are you doing? Yelling him over keyboard?
I was just letting him know, hey, currently in a meeting with the Mossad, can't take your call.
Yeah, he
should be back home within a couple of weeks.
If you didn't, he was gonna text you, or he still might text you. I tried calling you.
Just to make sure. I love when people I love at the end of the best is the end of the voice notes when he goes
okay, bye.
Yeah, okay.
Take your bye.
Oh yeah, take your bye.
Take your bye. It's I'm not
it's
there.
Funny because I remember in the very beginning when voice notes first started, it felt a little bit awkward. Now it's totally normal, but it felt a little bit
Remember if someone sent me, first of all, in Israel, everyone did that when I moved here. So when I started sending my friends in America, they're like, why are you sending me a voice note? People don't send voice notes. What are you talking about? Everyone here does it. Apparently wasn't as big in America, but I remember when people send me voice notes, I'm in public. I'm I would text back, I can't listen. I'm in public. And now it's you just put it in your ear, whatever. It's everyone's doing it. But now it's who has patience to text? I have no patience to text. Zero. I cannot.
I prefer phone calls. I feel it's just much easier to get things figured out much quicker.
100%. That's how with work and stuff, a lot of times instead of going back and forth in email, it's just have an easy 5 to 15 minute one-on-one meeting, and you could sort it all out as opposed to going back and forth and back and forth. It's so much easier that.
Classic work meetings. Yeah, I just wanted to circle back and touch base.
We do that. We make fun of it all day
before in the board meeting. But just before we dip our feet into the water here, just want to make sure we're all on the same page.
No, now it's because in our company, a lot of them say we're gonna go let's double click on that later. That's a big thing also. So I'm always let's just circle back and double click on that later, and we'll wait to hear some feedback. And
my door's always open if you want to come and give me a knock.
Yeah, in Israel, I don't think doors are open. I think everyone's doors are closed. No, my office happens to be everyone's super open. All the doors are open. It's really nice vibe.
Really nice vibe. Cool. Do they have? Is you have that open cubicle layout at all?
Ew,
in the middle, a bullpen type.
We have a small area that's stand up desks, and some of them are back to back. No one really uses them. It's really where everyone puts their scooters. But we all have different rooms depending on your department, and they have sliding glass doors. So you can either have the door open or closed. But even when they're closed, it's it's frosted in the middle, but it's open glass on top and bottom. So the whether you're going to the meeting room or you want to see if someone's in their office or something, everyone's always looking under, and everyone knows each other's shoes, because that's how we identify A, if there's someone in the room, and B, who it is in the room. So literally it's hysterical. That's how we communicate with each other. But everyone's really cool.
Yeah, it's hilarious. I can just imagine everyone peeking under who's in there. When you're when you're trying to use a public restroom, you're kind of a quick peek under the stall.
Totally.
Who sneaks around.
But some of those public restrooms, the bottom parts are way too high up. It's a low. Why is any of this a thing? The door, when you shut the door, it only goes sometimes it's really.
And there's 4 inches of space between the actual door and the frame.
Exactly.
You're in
Exactly.
the bathroom and someone's
You don't
looking
even need to
in.
be. Someone could just be looking from like across the hall. It's like that's why I never liked urinals. They always bugged me out. I had a fear of peeing because of them. Like I feel like you get splashback. I never liked them.
No, but there's nothing worse than if you're in a stall and you look out and there's just someone looking at you real up close, like you know, at that
Yeah,
point,
I probably beat
you
the
don't
shit
go,
out of
you don't
them
use. Yeah, we
or
don't.
murder them. Yeah.
You remember the? I don't know if you ever went to a Wrigley Field where the Cubs played. I know you were a huge baseball fan. Actually, no, you went with us when they threw out the first pitch.
First of all, I went a couple of times, and that was one of the times when you threw your first pitch, and I wanted that signed photo
Nolan
of
Ryan.
someone.
Nolan Ryan, yeah,
of him,
Hall of Famer,
and I still have that. It was
Probably
so
worth
weird that I
something.
won that. Probably, I don't know. I have no idea.
It's for
But,
sure
like,
it is.
Maybe, but it was such a fluke that I won that contest. I like never win anything, and I won that, and it just so happened to be the day you were sitting out the first pitch, and you know, I was shocked why Dad didn't offer it to me. I happen to be baseball.
Right.
I was just having this conversation like this past week. Baseball, like with people who were at Mom and Dad's house. I'm like, people literally like. I could go to basketball games and enjoy it. I never liked watching really so much on TV, but like specifically the Bulls games growing up, like it's so loud and everyone's very into it. You know, even like football games or whatever, but like baseball is the most boring sport to watch ever. I can't.
Yeah, I think it's really died out. I think it really
so
has.
boring. So
I never
boring.
understood it. I never, even as a kid, like I'd play catch with Yechiel sometimes. You know, that was fun, but the actual game itself, I always much preferred basketball or even football.
Yeah. I mean,
it is interesting though. I never grew up playing soccer. Obviously, so a lot of kids do in America, but obviously it's not as big as it is in Israel. But I feel like I wish I would have. I feel like I would have much more stamina. I feel like I'd be much more physically. You know, like baseball, you're kind of just like slumbering around. You have to run at some points, but you also could be not the most in shape.
Slumbering around, I'm dying.
Slumping around.
Yeah, and like I feel like 9 out of 10 you're on steroids.
It's funny because I was actually recently watching. There's a basketball player, JJ Redick. He's a former basketball player now. He's a sports analyst, and he came under fire because they were talking about like the old age of basketball players, like in the 50s and 60s and 70s. And Bob Cousy was one of the greatest point guards of all time on the Celtics. And JJ Redick said he was playing against plumbers and factory workers because at that time in the NBA they didn't get paid a lot of money at all, and almost everyone had a job to fund their ability to be able to play basketball, and they had to take public transportation to get to their games. So at that point in time, like a lot of these guys were not obviously. Now you're spending hundreds of millions of dollars on conditioning and training and making sure everything is perfect, and still a lot of these guys don't even play most of the games during the regular season. Back then you had none of that stuff. Most of these guys were working while doing all this. They weren't in the same shape, and yet they were still able to.
They were not getting as much money also.
Not even close. What's crazy is that Steph Curry, I think 2 years ago, I think I said this before, he made more money in that one season than the entirety of the WNBA since its inception.
It's psychotic.
It brings in money though. It's a huge moneymaker, you know. It's crazy that you could just. It is crazy though that you could just, you know, you could get paid hundreds of millions of dollars to play a game. But the thing is, like Charles Barkley said he had a great interview with Graham Bensinger. Graham Bensinger, by the way, is a phenomenal interviewer.
I'm like listening, like, I know that person.
But Charles Barkley did an interview with him. He's actually a Hall of Famer, and he said when he goes to certain schools, like in suburban areas, most kids say, you know, I want to be a doctor or a lawyer or an engineer. I want to get into computer science or work in technology. He's like, when I go to the inner city schools, most of the kids, they want to be basketball players or football players. And It's nice, but it's also not realistic for a vast majority of people. Not many players are in the NBA, 300-400, you know. You're talking about 0.001% of
I hope I'm hoping those were rhetorical questions.
Rhetorical questions, right?
Yeah, it's not like I have any answers to any of that. Like, listen,
I mean, you have to be. You have a basic knowledge of basketball.
Totally. I'm not like, you know, basketball like deficient.
Basketball deficient. You don't got any of that BD? That basketball deficiency?
Garth Hashem, I have no BD. You know, yeah, no, I was a little deficient. I did play on the JCC basketball team a couple times. I'm not sure if I mentioned that before.
As did I. We actually won the championship one year.
Well, so one year I won the championship, and another year my team was so bad.
You won the championship, or your team won the championship?
Right. But, well, obviously. And then the second year I was on, and my team was so bad that they made me the point guard.
No way.
I swear, that's how bad it was.
I can't even see you throwing a ball. I feel like the physics just wouldn't even work. It would just break.
I would just break down, maybe. But basketball, I would do more than like baseball, because baseball, like, they throw it so fast and it's so small, and I get nervous.
You have no hand-eye coordination.
I'm not sure if I don't have it, or I was nervous they were gonna break my nose. Now I look back in time, and I was like, as a child, I should have just let them break my nose, because then I could have saved on a nose job. But unfortunately, I was not that smart at that point in my life, and now it's like I pay too much for my face. I can't wreck it.
I cannot imagine you as a point guard. But I remember, first of all, that JCC league, one of the coaches, because the coaches were usually like dads from other kids in our school and other schools in the community, and one of the guys I remember freaked out and like threw his clipboard, smashed his clipboard down on the ground.
Yeah, I know.
Like a 50-year-old dad, and the ref like kicked him out. I'm like, dude, you're coaching like middle school basketball for the JCC. This is
literally an intramural league.
Right, this is
like a small amount of Jewish kids.
This is like small white Jewish kids. All right,
there's no money in it. Everyone gets a trophy, even if you don't get first place. Like, it's one of those, right. And it's
you get something.
Like, I think he
still
just
have
used
those
to
in
get his
Israel,
anger.
those trophies.
Children are not up. Oh yeah, so do I somewhere. I think they're probably also in your room. I think you have all the trophies. But I also have a lot of your random stuff in my room, and I'm trying to figure out how that happened and why.
We weren't there when everything got moved to Israel, so it got bunched up. But
what do you have, allergies or something?
Well, the weather's been crazy here. It's been raining for literally
I heard it was raining for like ever, because like some like a hurricane or something
there's
like
a tropical
that, right?
Storm,
like Ophelia or something like that.
Ophelia, yeah.
Oh, I'm good. I don't even know how I remember that. For a second, I thought I completely made that up. Ophelia.
Oh, it just tropical sounds storm, so like Ophelia.
They got to make them sound more intense. Like Hurricane Regina, like she's coming for you. Like Regina George, she is coming. That is an intimidating name. Ophelia, it sounds like the sweet little old lady who works down at the bakery, or like that woman you see on the street every day, like, you know, on the subway, and you're like, wave to her. Oh, that's Ophelia. That doesn't sound.
Speaking of Regina George, I randomly just saw a video of this guy, and he looked so familiar. And then I realized he was in Mean Girls.
Jonathan Bennett? Was it Aaron Samuels?
Rajiv Sarenda.
Oh, yeah. Hello. He was, what's his name? Kevin Napor.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That was great.
Yeah, I can totally break down to the whole
song. Right. I think he did like I think he might have done a home tour with Architectural Digest or something.
Oh, really?
That's
yeah, he's really funny.
Yeah.
And speaking of which, today is I can't even talk. September 27th, which means September's only 30 days, right? So that means 6 days until October 3rd, in reference to Mean Girls. For all who know, you know, and for all who don't, you can stop listening and go cry yourself to sleep. Bye. Even if it's
repeat that. It's in 6 days. It's the what?
Do we have matching ones? Oh no, yours is different.
It's the anniversary.
October 3rd. He asked me what day it was. It's October 3rd. Google October 3rd. This is what happens when your brother's straight.
What is on October 3rd?
It's Mean Girls Day.
Oh, Mean Girls Day.
Because every time she spoke to Aaron Samuels...
Falls on a Tuesday, not a Wednesday. So usually it's a Wednesday?
I don't know, is it?
I don't know. It says this year it's on a whatever. 2004. Wow, almost days, 20 years. Next year will be 20 years.
Could you cry? I saw it in theaters.
Did you really?
Yes. With me, shout out Yossi Rubin.
With you saw it with
Yaakov Friedman, and also our own Friedman. saw it, but we bought tickets.
That is the strangest group of people
beyond
to go see Mean Girls.
Beyond. But we bought tickets, or like me and Yassi had to buy tickets for like Shrek because we weren't like 13 at the time, and then we just went to see Mean Girls. And Yaakov, and and then I made Dad see it again when I went with him to Michigan once. I was like, "Oh, we gotta watch this movie," so I made him watch it, and now it's like probably my favorite movie in the entire world.
It's also crazy because back then I feel like movies were in theaters for so much longer before they were released on DVD or anything, and now like I never saw Barbie, but it just came out and I had already rented online.
Because they're going to make money both ways now. They people thought it was going to last a lot longer in theaters. I think it still is in theaters, but I think now they're just like opening it up sooner, and they just charge you a higher price to like buy it now.
They also know that less people are getting out of their house and going to theaters these days. So
also they're gross. Like they really are. I have been at a theater in nice years. The last movie I saw in theaters was Beauty and the Beast, that remake. And I just went to see Barbie.
I think that was one of the last ones I saw too, by the way.
Right? And
so funny.
Then I went to the theater to see Barbie with our family and everything, and there was all this drama, and you have assigned seats, and there were these two girls, and they were disgusting, and like it was a whole disaster. My anxiety level was like up to 100. I had no Klonopin or Xanax on me. I was like, oh my God.
I was at the house eating almonds and relaxing.
We missed out. Except for those horrible people.
Right.
Except for those horrible people. Yeah.
Well, I don't need to get my blood sugar, spiking on a Tuesday night for no reason over a Barbie movie.
It was a Saturday night. A Tuesday night. What else are you doing? Sitting home eating almonds. So productive.
I mean, it's more productive than seeing Barbie. You could be
munching down. Not really. You could be munching down, eating popcorn, and it's like I wasn't like, oh my God, it's the best movie ever. Like a lot of people were. Like it was very good, but it was a lot deeper than you would expect. It's very interesting. But yeah,
that is very interesting.
Something that you sent to me before, and I was like, oh my God, I saw this earlier. Is like I'm obsessed with Britney Spears. Anyone who knows me,
in case no one knew,
yeah, like anyone who knows me knows. Like since I was 6.5, 7 years old, I was obsessed with her. Knew all the choreography. Like I've been obsessed with her like my entire life. Way before this whole like Free Britney movement. I think I've spoken about this before. Way before it happened, I used to always talk about the conservatorship and like all this different stuff. And people were like, "How do you know that? Like, what is that?" And then it became like a whole like trendy thing and like all this stuff. Clearly, she's like, free and everything like that now, but she's kind of been like, she clearly goes through like she's free from her, like
locked in her own damn mind.
Like she should have never been under conservatorship, but clearly something is there that's concerning, and she probably has something chronic. And whether she's not taking medication or whatever it is, but like she seems like she's just been in a very scary downward spiral, and I hope she has support around her and not she's getting divorced and all this stuff. And it's like, it can't make it easier. And like then she just did this whole video like dancing with like these knives and like clinking them together as she's dancing. Her dogs are like right behind her, like, and she's just like spinning in circles like she always does. She used to be like one of the top dancers.
No, the way the knives clink is out of a movie. It's like cartoon-esque.
Right.
The way that she clinks those knives, like she's Moira Rose performing on Broadway.
Totally, right? Or like about to like cut a turkey, like the movies, like
right. like sharpen those up, Britt.
Right, just spitting in her circles with her hair and makeup looking like that, and it's like it's so concerning. And like then she's like, no, it was fake knives or something like that. I don't know what the deal is with that, but
fake knives don't make metal clinking sounds.
So maybe they like, maybe they are like, it's like Hollywood. They use different types. They use like a rubber knife and they use a real knife, and then they use one that's
dull.
Like it is real, but it's dull. So maybe it was dull blade. She mentioned Halloween, maybe, but it's also interesting to note that like, there were like, people on the other side who were keeping their conservatorship who would talk about their fear of her being around knives. Her sister in her memoir wrote about the fact that she had a concerning situation with her when she had a knife.
Sister? Zoe 101?
Exactly. Zoe 101. Now she's Zoe 102. She came out with a movie.
Hold on. Wait. Someone, my wife pointed out to me, because I asked if they ever came out with a remake, because I remember hearing that they were doing a remake. She said, yeah, but it makes no sense because they called it They called it Zoe 102, but if it's their second year in college, it should be 201, not 102. Because in
No, it's
college,
not their second year in college. They're all grown up, and it's really like 12 years later.
I mean, 102 still makes no sense.
No sense. Should have been Zoe 101 the movie, or Zoe 101 something. Zoe 102 didn't make any sense.
Because 101 is
The
all
movie
college
kinda
classes
didn't
are
either.
101 or 102 or 103.
Well, high school could also be like that. Yeah. No, it was not 102. It was 911.
It's funny because I remember being a kid and being forced to watch that god awful show.
It was
I wanted
so
to
good.
just
Don't
watch-
even
I
deny
wanted to
it.
watch Phil the
You
Future.
know it was good. I loved Phil the Future. Don't pretend like they were on at the same time.
Phil the Future
Don't
was
even-
great.
No, Phil the Future was great. And like, yeah. No,
We
it was
watched
such a
most of
good
the same shows, but some of them, like That's So Raven,
Yeah, but
Phil the
then
Future.
you got into iCarly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was already like past that age where I was like, oh my god, I can't. But now the shows are like awful, and Disney doesn't make like any money anymore. It's such a disaster.
Yeah, I just watched a whole thing about.
We are on the same freaking
We're on the same.
algorithm.
Speaking of which, I wanted to ask you because I think I'm not sure if I sent it to you. Did you? Philion made a video about Dubai. I think it came out yesterday. About like this influencer hell that is Dubai, where basically he was speaking about how Dubai came to be, how it is, what it is, why it was made, and because of diversification, because all their money comes from oil. That's when they started making all their money. They started trying to get as many tourists as possible into Dubai. They have crazy immigration laws. 90%, 90 of Dubai, of their citizens, of the population are non-nationals. So they're immigrants. If you're an influencer, you have to sign a contract. There are laws. You can't speak negatively about Dubai. You have to speak positively about Dubai. You can't say anything negative about the royal family. It's they say that. That's why they have tons of fake accounts and TikToks and videos from influencers trying to like convince you almost that like Dubai is his dream place. There's no homelessness because it's illegal to be homeless. If you're if you're non-national, it is illegal.
I mean, I'm still dying to go to Dubai. Don't get it twisted. Like, I would love to go to Dubai.
But nothing makes any sense there. The Taj Mahal, the largest building in the world, has no sewage system. So there's infamous sewage trucks, thousands, tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of gallons of sewage are trucked out from the Taj Mahal all the time because they don't even have sewage. Yes, they don't even have sewage in the building. They have like random 12-lane highways scattered between skyscrapers and residential areas. The islands they built were all abandoned.
Oh,
and the
those
ones that they finished, like the palm tree one, they built an embankment around it to stop waves from coming in. But now you've cut off all the water from all the fresh water, so everything died and is just gross in there. It's like really not the most ideal place to live, and you're you're technically under Sharia law. They're more sensitive. They're more sensitive.
Like if you're a tourist, you're like allowed to drink and stuff like that, but otherwise, like alcohol is like illegal.
Right, they're like you're not allowed to have any public displays of affection, for example. But if you're a tourist, so they're a little bit more lenient because they're trying to really build up their tourist. I still really want
to go. I'm sorry,
that's why they're putting in so much money and bringing in and doing all these events in the Middle East and stuff.
What about
they paid Lionel Messi. They paid Lionel Messi. I'm not sure if he did it, but they offered him $20 million.
The soccer player?
Just to do a tour of the Middle East and post pictures on his Instagram, just to show that it's the place to be, even though it's not even the place to be.
But like you said, if there's like 90% people who aren't nationals, then clearly there is a lot to like about it.
But they're not. But a majority of
just
those
the
people,
cars. Let's be real, Akiva. You and I would die just at the cars there.
But a majority of those non-nationals are poverty stricken, and the way that they treat the working class, which is a vast majority of the country, because you're either very wealthy or you're not, is like slave labor. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy how they run them over there. Also, you could find hundreds of this abandoned supercars.
And I'd be okay.
I'm saying there have been tons of videos. You can go out into the desert and just find abandoned Lamborghinis, Bentleys from people who made impulse purchases and then lost everything, and they just abandoned them. Which sounds cool, but like, what are you gonna do? You gonna pick it up and bring it home?
Yeah, pretty much.
I do it with you, swimming across the Atlantic, holding a Urus.
Right? We can fix this water damage, like totally. We'll just like let it on the sun.
4,000 miles to go.
Seriously, literally,
Oh my
literally.
gosh. No, it would be cool to
not
go
letting
for
that
sure,
go.
but it also seems like it's probably not the best place to live.
So I'm not planning on living there. I just really want to go. I just need to make like a lot of money before I go because supposedly they have like amazing shopping. And if I'm going, I want to like stay somewhere nice, like do nice
But
things.
other
So I'd
things
have to like.
are cheap. Like when a friend of mine went, he I think he was supposed to get a Range Rover. It was like 80 or $100 a day, and they didn't have it available, so they gave him a Bentley Bentayga. It was $100 a day to rent. Try to get that
Yeah,
car in
I
America,
take
it'd be close
that.
to 1,000.
I would take that. I would take that in a second, and then just never leave.
Oh, sorry, we
That's
don't
how they
have
get
your
me.
Range Rover. Let me just give you a W12 engine, the fastest SUV ever made, as you
I'd be like,
fly around
ew,
Dubai.
I don't want that. I want a Rolls-Royce Cullinan. Take it back.
It's really crazy.
Oh my
Rolls-Royce
god.
Cullinan. The Rolls-Royce is really the pinnacle of
Oh my
luxury.
god.
If you've
Oh
never
my
even
god.
sat in a Rolls-Royce, it's not even possible to speak. If people would say paying that kind of money for a car is ridiculous, until you've sat in a Rolls-Royce, experienced the quietness, the comfort, the suspension, the sound system, the massaging seats, the lamb wool carpet on your socks. No one gets in their car and takes off their shoes. You get in a
I would
Rolls-Royce, you
never
take
wear
off
my
your
shoes.
shoes.
I would never wear them in that car.
Why? Why
Mm-mm.
would you when you're walking on clouds? Clouds
Literally, I would
of
never want to
lambskin.
leave my car. And you own the road. But
It
if
takes like
anyone ever
16
hit me, I
cows.
will destroy them.
It takes like 16 cows or something to like line the interior of a Rolls Royce.
Oh my god, the vegans must hate that.
Well, nowadays a lot of even luxury cars are using
Yeah, a lot of the fake
vegan leather.
Yeah, which they really
Phantoms.
should.
Yeah, Phantom. Well, first of all,
Like, it's
Rolls
really
Royce doesn't
scary when
raise
you
its
think
own
about it.
cows. They purchase cows, okay, but they use about 8 to 10 cows to line a Phantom.
That's the thing, is it's really sad. Like, they're really killing animals just
18
for.
full cow hides in its interior. Never mind. That's what this one says. 18. Just so we can be comfortable on our seats as we fly down the road. We're really just skidding
Literally.
animals.
But that's
so
the thing. It's like even like the Lexus new techs, like pleather and like all these different things. Like there are a
Right.
lot of really nice, like Tesla. It's not leather anymore. There are a lot of companies. I mean, Genesis. I think they have an option.
It is funny though, because the vegan leather, which is made of synthetic material, produces more carbon emissions than it would for a car to drive like 1,000
They
miles.
always say that, and like every production, I'm sure, has different ways of doing it. So it's like they say this about everything. It's like people like you got to get it together. Like things have to be done just because like, oh well, that's going to do this. It's like, okay, well, we have to do things in certain areas. Like you can't do everything at once.
Yeah,
It's got to be realistic.
right. I get it.
Gotta
Yeah.
have faith.
What was that?
Exactly. Is that a blue Solo cup? Is that what? Oh my god!
It is.
Oh my god! We ate by somebody over Rosh Hashanah, and someone was asking about where all of us kids live. So Dad's saying how I live in Tel Aviv, and like the other girls, they live in like at the 5 towns. And he's like, and then my son lives in South Jersey, and me and Hannah Levinson burst out laughing, and we look at him, we're like, South Jersey.
That's because that's what I say as a joke.
I'm dead, and I'm like, you mean Lakewood?
I say that to people as a joke sometimes. That's probably where he got it from.
Oh my god!
Funny that
No,
he
but
said
he was
that,
like
though.
dead serious. Dead
But because it's not
serious.
even really South Jersey. It's more like central. Maybe
I
a
mean,
little bit
Jersey's
south.
Jersey. Let's be real.
It's funny because people used to say it's the armpit of America. New Jersey has really, really nice areas, and it's like, and some of them are like a half-hour drive from the city. And the suburbs of New Jersey, like you go to Montclair, Livingston, Bloomfield.
Inglewood.
There's some real Englewood. There's some beautiful neighborhoods in New Jersey.
Yeah, and I love those neighborhoods for them. I would just never live there.
I mean, if I had the money to be able to afford to live in any of those neighborhoods, I'm sure it'd be lovely. But the property taxes are probably $100,000 a year to live in those areas.
It's insane, literally insane. Can't afford that shiz unless I
Really
either
crazy.
win the lottery or marry really rich or both.
Right?
That would be great.
The prices now, with the amount of money you need to make nowadays to, I think
Live.
Yeshiva University came out with a study a few years ago that if you have 5 kids,
If it's a few years ago, it's already
If
outdated.
you're,
because
if
of
you,
inflation.
yeah, exactly, it's already outdated. It was a few years ago that if you're an Orthodox Jewish family with 5 kids, you need to make over $300,000 a year, like just to make ends meet, just be able to afford tuition. And think about how expensive. Like when I went on summer camp with NCSY, it was like $8,000. It was a lot of money. Nowadays
regular camps are like
is
that.
way more. It's like 10 to 12 grand for, let's say, 7-8 weeks.
Isn't that insane? This is the thing, is I can't even afford to have kids.
That's
if I
more than
wanted them
that's
now.
more than my kids' tuition for the year right now for summer camp.
Literally insane.
So
I can.
gotta buy a lottery ticket. The lottery's up to like 750 million. So we're just gonna win that. Come to Israel real quick, retire, and just.
If you win that, all I'm saying is all I need is a G-Wagon, and it's not a lot off of that number.
If I win the lottery, I'll get you a G-Wagon, I promise.
And you guys heard it. This is on record, so he gets me the G-Wagon and the Brabus.
If I win hundreds of millions of dollars, I will get you a Brabus G-Wagon.
With like an orange interior.
Yeah, you'll be probably the only person with a black on orange Brabus G-Wagon in Tel Aviv.
You'd be surprised, by the way. I want like a deep gray with like either matte or like
no, you want a
sheen,
gloss,
like a demi matte.
You want a sheen.
Yeah,
I know what you're talking about. That gray and orange is a crazy color combo. It's really nice.
It's just goals.
And on that note, right, we should win. But more
that's what I should pray for this year for a G-Wagon.
More importantly, I just want to wish everyone a beautiful Chag. Should be uplifting and meaningful wherever you are and whoever you're spending it with. And wherever you're going to be.
Wherever.
Spending Sukkot together.
Together we'll be here and you'll be there.
Keep in 2 days this year.
That sucks for you.
But I hope everyone has a beautiful Chag. We'll catch everyone after the week following, most likely. In other news, in case anyone was wondering, I did finish book 6 of The Wheel of Time. I'm starting book 7. For those who want to get on the train with me, we should be completing book 7 in the coming weeks.
What train are you on? The Polar Express?
Start up Akiva's book club. Right now it's just me.
Read?
Right now it's just me.
Oh my god! I need to become a reader again. It's just you. It sounds a little lonely. Maybe shout to Alexa or something. See if she'll get involved.
Sukkot will be a great time for you to catch up on some reading.
Yeah, I'll probably just play on my Switch.
Sending everyone a lot of love and
peace and harmony.
Catch you guys in a couple weeks. Chag Sameach.
Chag Sameach, y'all. Bye.